Sam, it's been so long since I've seen you.
I know, and we still haven't managed to unite in person yet, which is really annoying. I need to see Shut It Down live. I've listened to it 3 times today. Love it.
I love that you're listening to it. Thank you.
I want to talk to you a little bit more about music in a bit, but I want to talk first about, I mean, since winning Drag Race and being on the Gay Times cover, which was 4 fucking years ago, which is mad to me that we had that conversation. Life has just been mental for you. I mean, especially over the past year, it's been mental for you.
It picked up. She picked up.
I mean, Drag Race, All Stars 8, Lip Sync Assassin, being introduced to Ru for the first time, Glamorous, It's All Sunshine and Rainbows, new music. Also, you met Priyanka Chopra, who was famously inspired by you. So, like, what? Yeah.
Actually, that's the fact. Actually, that's what that's. You know.
So, how are you feeling right now? Like having one of the best years of your life, probably, right?
It's amazing because everything that I've been creating for the past 2 years is finally coming out. All while I'm creating more things, but like, it's funny. It's like such a positive space to be in because, to your point, like that was 4 years ago. And for some reason, it feels like I just won Drag Race. Like it feels like I literally just won and I'm on the press tour right after I won. Every single time another accolade happens. And I'm so, like, I would say proud of myself that I'm able to just like push for myself, you know? Like that's kind of what it comes down to is that like, for Glamorous, for example, it's like, I heard they were filming in Toronto. So I was like, yo, what's the tea? And they're like, oh, we're only looking for like New York drag queens. Sorry. And I was like, okay, right, because it's based in New York. Okay, fine. And then I like knocked at the door again. And I was like, but what if like I just like came and I just like wasn't Priyanka, like Canada's Drag Race winner. I just like was on stage just doing like a Danity Kane song or something. And then they're like, no. And then like days later, it was like, hey Priyanka, are you available to shoot? You know, like it's like these things. Although this it feels like the renaissance of Priyanka, which everyone keeps telling me. It's just always in the making, always doing the work. You better work. And honestly, it feels good. It finally feels nice to also be so proud to be brown. What a great feeling.
Yeah.
What an amazing feeling. I've been doing work with Tamina Paris, and she was like, she's choreographing my tour show because Mama's about to go on tour, honey. And she said to me, because you know, she doesn't know, like she knows me, who I am and stuff, and she understands. But she was like, no, I want to go like, just make me like a playlist of like who the Queen Priyanka is. And I was like, sure. And I thought I was going to put like Sabrina Carpenter, Tate McRae, and like Olivia Rodrigo on it. And then I was like, no, like, let me think back to like my childhood. Like she's like, yeah, think about who you were as a kid. And it was like all these iconic Bollywood dance hall songs and or pop music with Bollywood or dance hall or soca or reggae influence in it. So the thing that makes it feel like the best year of my life is for sure those accolades, but also that I really like feel like I found myself in all this chaos and all this craziness. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm settled. I'm like, let's go.
I mean, and you seem like the best version of you that we've ever seen so far on We're Here. You know, that very small little show, that very small, you know, not a big deal. Not a big deal. Not an Emmy Award winning.
It's not like I was just nominated for a Critics' Choice Award or anything.
No. And what was that big one? What's the big one called? The one where it doesn't even sound like it's meant to be for a film or a TV show. What's it called? It was Peabody. A Peabody.
Peabody. Oh yeah. We're Here won a Peabody. Yeah.
Like, not every show wins a Peabody.
No. It is iconic. And the cool thing about We Are Here is that they switched up the format, so they made it more like hooky. Like you feel like you're watching an act, like you're on a journey versus like show up to a town, put somebody in drag, get out. Like now it's so like, oh, real people, real issues, real, and it's so incredible. Also like wild that I'm on an HBO show. Like that's like it's meant to be, but also like they called Canada. They paid long distance for the phone call. You know, but that's a good kind of like measure of like the kind of energy you put out, you'll get back the energy that you give.
Can I just say that scene of you, Jada, and Sasha walking into the state capitol in your full drag, I think it was episode 2,
Yeah.
and there's a song playing in the background. I can't remember what the song was, but it's like that fierce song. Best thing I've ever seen. Like what? Like Jesus
Major.
fucking-
And the craziest part about those scenes is that we could have been, I love you. I love you all. Get home safe. What a great performance. And the fact that he was like, shut it down. I was like, that's right. This fucking guy. I love him. He's in the UK.
Why are you pretending to be nice? We know you're a diva behind the scenes. Like this
Yeah,
is for the
yeah.
camera.
I'm awful. I'm a diva and I'm awful. I forgot about that part.
We're just in the camera in the back, like
Yeah, she's awful. Help us. That's so fucking funny. What was I talking about?
I think you're talking about
Oh,
yeah.
the craziest thing about it is that like at that time it was illegal to be public in drag. That like what a thought. Like what a thought. You can't be in drag.
There are so many moments in the series where I'm supposed to be horrified, and I am, but I'm also kind of like laughing because I'm like, this is so outside of like my own bubble. Like when you're just going up to people and saying, do you like drag queens? And they're like,
Yeah. I had so many conversations. I mean, I love that they really showed the curiosity of our community versus anger.
hmm.
You know, like Sasha really and Latrice really taught me how to be more patient in those conversations because I was like, well, what the fuck you mean you don't like a drag queen, bitch? Because some of the conversations that I had was like, you know, like, well, tell me why you don't like me. And like, well, God says that you're going to hell. And I'm like, well, did you talk to God? Like, how do you know this? And they can't answer. It's just an echo. It's an echo chamber, right? It's the pastor or the preacher, whoever at their church that's saying like, we hate gay people. Don't forget, trans people aren't real people. And then that's what they believe because that's what they're being told. And the craziest part about it is that like everybody is in search for a purpose, right? Like all these people go to church because they want to be a part of a community. So they go to this community that finally accepts them for something, and then they're being told to hate other people, and that's what brings the community together. It's messed up.
Yeah, that conversation in the backyard, it's confusing, isn't it, right? Because you're facing discrimination out on the streets, you know, from people who hate gays, hate trans people, hate queer people. And then you're also facing discrimination from people who have welcomed you in their space and that you're having a good time with them. But then they're going, oh, but wait, you are going to hell though.
Yeah, it's like I can have a drink with you. I know you're going to hell, but you're like, huh. The difference, the major issue here is like I remember when people would say the word representation, I would always be like, you're just trying to check a box.
Mhm.
Okay, like you're calling me around Diwali. Bye, I love you. You're calling me around Diwali because my name's Priyanka. Okay, cool. You're checking your box. Okay, cool. I got it. But now I've totally realized how important representation, yes, in the media, but also my drag daughter John is Two Spirit in Oklahoma, which is the episodes that are about to air. And I went to a Two Spirit meeting, and honestly, they were just like, we just want to see an Indigenous person working at the coffee shop. That's it. That's all we're asking. We're not asking for anything else. That's all we want to see. And that's when it dawned on me. I was like, oh, right. There's just simply no other gay or trans or queer or at least out people for these people to talk to. Because when you're sitting in your skin being like, yeah, I have a boyfriend at home, 2 dogs, and I'm successful and my life's great and I'm queer and gay, they're like, wow, you're actually nice too, but you're going you're going to hell, but how are you? You know, it's like they have this mental like thing. It's interesting.
Like, how do you respond to that? Like, throughout the series, you are placed in some horrifying situations where you're not safe. So how did you and, you know, the cast and the crew kind of foster a sense of, you know, safety and security during this?
We knew like in the major moments there was always security. Like they were undercover. We didn't even meet them because like they didn't want to like, you know, blow their cover.
Right.
So it was. I always knew. Well, I didn't always know, but at least for like the city hall and stuff, I was like, we'll be okay here. Like this will be okay. It was just like the more major moments, like when we went into a park in Bartlesville, and it was like we're reading Facebook comments saying you're gonna die. So we're kind of like, okay, are we gonna die? Are we gonna get shot here? Like, what's gonna happen? Safety already doesn't exist for queer people. So it's kind of this thing where you're like, you know, you're fussing, you know, is your security? Am I gonna be okay? And then you think back to like, wait. You can't even walk around on these streets of Tennessee or Oklahoma in drag and not get like bullied and or some slur be said at you. Of course, it's not safe. So it's kind of messed up because we all united in the fact that we knew it wasn't safe,
Mm.
which is not great. But there was, you know, the measures that were taken professionally for production, of course. But it's just like it's not safe. I mean, even in Canada, even in the UK, like if I was to walk down the street in this, or you know, even you, like if someone was to see that you were out and proud, they
Mhm.
might kick the shit out of you just because you're gay.
It's so funny, isn't it, that like when you're being told you're going to hell and being told, you know, I'll die. It's such a queer thing to just laugh it off and be like,
You can't tell me that I'm going to hell when I'm laughing and I have joy in my life. That simply can't be.
if we are going to hell, it's going to be full of really fun people.
Oh my God, totally. It's gonna be so fun. It's gonna be so fun.
Talk to me about this mix of icons because it's you, it's Jada, it's Sasha, it's Latrice. You're all legendary. Can you talk to me about your history with each queen? Because I know that you were close with Jada beforehand because you collaborated on the iconic Melanin Dynasty shoot with Shay. But I want to know like about your history with Sasha and Latrice before the show.
So before the show, Latrice, I only knew Latrice because we did a Christmas tour in the UK together. But then everyone got COVID and it got shut down, of course. So that's that. But Latrice has always been like very just like whatever you need, call me. If you're ever in Florida, come over. Like she truly is just the most low maintenance person. Doesn't give a fuck in like a good way. Like not in like a doesn't give a fuck like ugh, like is it doesn't give a fuck in like a well whatever. Like everything's fine, you know. And I love that energy because I'm very like I want the show and I want this and I want that. So it's good balance.
Mhm.
Sasha, I met because she was interviewed at my um, old job when I was a kids television host. She came to the building, but for the morning show, not for the kids TV, because you know, God forbid, there's drag queens on kids television. Case in point. And I met her there. I met her there. It was right before we found out about the reveal thing. And she was so, you know, chill. And I was like, are you anxious? She's like, yup, very anxious. Like things are going to go wild. And Shea Coulee was there and Peppermint was there. And then she'd reached out for me to do her show, The Big Reveal, when she was in Toronto. And like, it's funny because we are both on phone calls we were here at the time, but we never talked about it to each other because we didn't know. And then she came into my entertainment television job and I interviewed her again, like, oh, so tell us about your book. And then finally it was like, oh, wait, we're in this together. And her and I mean, we just dropped these like biker babe photos on Instagram.
Yeah, it looks insane. I,
Sure.
I
But we get each other. Like we just get each other. It's so easy. It's like, hey, we should do a motorcycle shoot. And then you know her partner Johnny Velour is like, okay, do you want to do this? I'll set it up. Like, yeah, let's do it. We're gonna split the cost. Blah 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 blah. And then it's done. Easy. There's no fussing, and I like that about her because everything is possible, and I'm very cut from that cloth. And I mean, Jade is amazing. Jade is. The thing that was the most shocked about learning about Jada while doing the show was how emotional she is.
mm,
Like I think it was interesting to see all of us kind of like relate to what was happening in these states, but like back to ourselves. And for her, I could still feel that like her. She's like this reminds me of when my blank blank blank, blank would tell a story. And but I didn't know a lot of that when we were filming it because I learned when I watched the show. I was like, oh, right, because we're not in each other's solo scenes. So it makes sense because I remember one time I went to a party with Jada and somebody said something really awful to me and she lost her mind on them. Like she barely knew me, right? Like we got close in the pandemic because she won, then I won. Um, but she was just like, you know, but I could see why she fights for her people because she's been hurt.
oh, I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know what you mean about Jada. I feel like on her original season, season 12, she kind of showed everyone she was fierce.
Yeah.
Then all winners, she showed people that she was stupid and goofy. And now on We're Here, we're seeing that vulnerable side to her. Oh, she's just a treasure. I love
She is.
her.
She is. She is. And she just likes to have fun. Like
Yeah,
that's her thing. She just wants to have a good time. Mama just wants to smile and laugh and giggle and gossip.
I love this cast. I
Good
want
cast, really strong.
it's whoever the casting person is, the one in the production,
Yeah.
give them a raise. Like, because
But actually though, because it doesn't really make sense as to why we all got together. Like it's where we couldn't be more not related to each other, but we all work. It just works.
it is
I
perfect.
love us. We're
It's
here.
We're here. I'm here. I'm here with you.
I can't wait for we're here the UK edition where we storm Greg's. Just love Greg so much, and it's so annoying because their social media people don't appreciate us.
Why?
Nolly always tweets about Greg's. I tweet about Greg's. We don't hear back.
That's really despicable. Okay, in order to be able to top what you did with the state building walking in drag, you have to do that in Greg's now.
Ooh, that's a great idea. Okay, done.
But every Greg's is quite small, so you're not going to be able to have that like really dramatic entrance.
Maybe anything is possible for TikTok, honey. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
On the show, we do. I mean, you've been vulnerable on Drag Race and in real life, but you do get a lot more vulnerable. I mean, it's kind of the season of vulnerability for you and Jada, I suppose, and Sasha as well, actually. Well, actually, all of you. As a fellow queer Gemini, what is that like to open up on such a huge scale?
You know what? Like, I don't know if a lot of people talk about this, but when you're a performer, like, and especially with my television host background, I have like ripple effect feelings. So in the moment when like something's emotional, like I'm usually like taking it in, like, okay. And then like days later, I'll feel that like sadness and darkness. That because it's the performer in me. It's like, okay, something's happening, pivot, 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 or the Gemini in me, you know, there's something about like that. The vulnerability is such an interesting conversation to have because this is what I'm working on right now with myself. Is like you would be more shocked if everybody in this world would be so shocked if everyone had someone to ask them like, how do you actually feel about this? No judgment. How do you actually feel? Because when you're hearing these stories of people that just want to walk down the street, or hearing the people that just want to like live their best life, or whatever the case is, you're like, I wonder if I'm okay. Like they're wearing their hearts on their sleeve, right? They're like, I have this and I have that and I have this, and you're sitting there as like their mentor, being like, and then they're looking at you, being like, and your life is great, and then I'm like, yeah, I think it is. Yeah, right? Yeah. So it's an interesting thing because the vulnerability is so layered to actually to be able to open up yourself on camera. Like, I mean, on Canada's Drag Race, when I was like crying because I realized that like shit, I had quit my job to do this show. I've literally risked my bread and butter job to potentially go back to no job. And I'm crying because then it's like you realize how much that means to you. But it took me that was week 3 we were filming. It took me 3 weeks for that vulnerability to settle in. It's a long time for someone to know their real feelings of how much it means to them to persevere. So it's definitely hard. It's really hard to be vulnerable on camera for me because Gemini. And also like the best thing about like the showrunner Peter was he's always like, Priyanka, don't forget you're not hosting, you're just exploring. And that would be very helpful too. And I'm also so solution oriented too. So whenever someone's like, this MAGA said this, and I'm like, hey, so what's the plan? I'm not like, oh, that's awful. So I'm working on it because it's tough. It's really tough.
Well, when you figure it out, let me know because as a fellow queer. Right, let's talk about the music because the motherfucking music. I mean, Taste Test was just an era.
The UK loves Taste Test. The UK and Brazil specifically loves Taste Test.
We love it. I mean,
which is amazing. This is amazing to me because when I released Taste Test, I was so, I wouldn't say nervous. I was obviously doing everything 100%, but there was still like a little bit of like a guard for me. It was like, yeah, I do music. Yeah. Because I knew that the buzzwords for press and for this is like Drag Race and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, yeah, I do music. But like, I'm doing these fully produced videos and performing, opening for Pablo Vittar at Drag Fest and Ray at Drag Fest. Let's talk about that for a second. What the fuck? And like, what the fuck? And it's like, girl, you're doing it. Like, just own it. Like, you wanted to do music. You sang your whole life in your bedroom wanting to be a motherfucking pussycat doll. So go, own it, take up the space. And I'm realizing that now with this music is that like, I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna take up the space. And it's gonna be such a fun era because I think Taste Test was really fun for the audience to watch right off the heels of winning Canada's Drag Race. And they got to just enjoy the Drag Race girls together, and they got to kind of like live in the nostalgia of Canada's Drag Race, say. But this new era is great because like not only are they going to be like, yes, Priyanka, my queen, they're also going to be able to feel something too with the music. They're going to be like, this is my anthem. Yeah, I'm going to shut the haters down. Fuck them.
And it's a full-blown album. It's an album,
It's
right?
an album. Yeah, it's my debut album.
God, do we have a release date yet? Is that out there?
I don't know. I know the release date, but I don't know if it's out there. I think we announced the release date in June.
So it's in June.
We announced the release date in June.
Okay. So I've got to wait longer. Okay. What would you say is like Jesus Christ, classic Priyanka, man, give me one.
Yeah.
What would you say like are the themes? What encompasses this album? What do you want it to say?
Joy, owning your life, your space, taking up space. That's one thing I'm working on. There's 2 songs that I love so much, but I just couldn't figure it out. And then I went to working with Tamina Paris, who's the choreographer, creative director person that I work with. She danced with Gaga for so many years. Like starstruck. Thank God she left because I'm like an icon amongst us. But it's interesting to like be like owning yourself, because then the music just really just like it all made sense to me in my head. I was like, oh, now I'm happier. I understand why I walked into the studio, first shut it down and was like, I'm going through this, but I'm sick of it. And I needed it to be a mainstream Bollywood iconic thing. I knew what I wanted then, but then I got clouded until now the clouds are apart. So I'm excited for everyone to hear it because like, not only will it make you dance, but I was like, what are songs that people want to sing in the shower and live their fantasy? Like, what songs would I sing in my bedroom as a child when I was like putting a cape around my neck to have like the fabric blow in the wind and put a fan in front of my face so I could be like Beyonce, and then I'd pin up curtains on the top of the ceiling so I could peer through them. Like, what song does that person want to hear? Because we're all that person.
Well, definitely all 3 songs. 3 songs that released so far: Shut It Down, Bad Bitches Don't Cry, and No New Friends.
Yeah. And
No,
it only gets more iconic. Like Bad Bitches Don't Cry kind of had like this like soca Afro pop energy to it, and then No New Friends, that guitar is super like like a little bit of like Arabian Hindi energy, and then Shut It Down has that beautiful Bollywood, sample, and then the next one is like full fucking Bollywood crazy K-pop energy. It's wild. Stadium bang.
I love that you collaborate with Ralph because I interviewed her a few years ago and she's a babe. Love her. And can we talk about Bonnie McKee?
Oh yes. Okay, I love her. I've been following her for years. I'm so obsessed with her writing. She's so iconic and talented and amazing. She just DM'd me out of nowhere. Like literally out of nowhere. Usually there's like a schmooze and a network and a this and that. She's like, hey Priyanka, like, would you want to do a collaboration with me for my album? And it was funny because it wasn't like, why me? It was like, yeah, that's right, bitch. That's right, Miss Bonnie McKee, who wrote California Girls with Katy Perry. I'm gonna show you. So it was interesting, like taking something that she had pre-written and then putting my flavor on it, and then like going back and forth with her and like learning what she looks for in the music and what this and what that and what she wanted to capture in the song. And what I tell you, banger. It eats so hard, and it's so nice to be accepted. I think Trixie just said it's so hard to break the ceiling as a drag music artist. I think she said that in an interview, and I agree. She's so right. It's so hard. People are like, you're a clown. However, it was so nice to have a real pop girl acknowledge and then be like, and also, can you sing with me, please? And accept me for my art. It wasn't no like, let's make songs that sound like blank. She was like, ad lib like crazy, do what comes naturally, like whatever you want. And she put all my ad libs in. I'm fucking singing on that song. I'm saying fun things. It's like, it's really, really cool to finally be accepted as like a music artist.
So I interviewed Nelly Furtado a couple of days ago. She said she was messaging you actually. I can't.
Nelly Furtado. I did a dance class with her at the beginning of January in 2023. And I played her Shut It Down. I had it was done back then, and she was like, oh, and I saw her kind of get like heady about it. She was like it wasn't like, oh, that's a great song, girl. It was like, oh, okay. crazy. Like she felt like she's in her like dance music era. You could tell she like really felt it in her like her soul. Yeah, I played Nelly Furtado my song. Think about that for a second. That's actually crazy to think about.
You need a
Like
collab.
listen to my next one. Like these are things that are like
Yeah.
I could only dream of. I'm
She
like,
revealed to me that
reveal. What did she reveal?
she revealed to me that Tynomi's on her album.
Right? Tainomi and I, yeah, she called me. Tainomi and I talk all the time. We are the closest of friends, like so organically. And when she called me, she's like, Priyanka, like, you're never gonna guess. And I'm like, what? And then she's like the label's calling me, being like, can we feature you in the splits and the this and the that? And I was like, Tainomi, like, you want to sing? Like, Tainomi has an amazing singing voice.
Mm.
And then she's like, this is like, this is it. I'm like, it's it plus more. Like, whatever you want to do with this opportunity now, like, you're an artist on a Nelly Furtado track. Like, this is it. Like, this is not it, but it's the thing that can just for you,
Mhm.
And it's nice to see these, yeah, as I said, pop girls like lean into
Yeah.
the talent and the inspiration around them. It's iconic. I love Nelly Furtado and I love Tainomi. Two people with such great hearts who have good intentions that found each other. Like that's a perfect example.
And Nelly was just an absolute fucking dream to chat to. Nelly Furtado, a literal icon. The way she was talking about drag as well, you can tell she genuinely has such a respect for it. Like it was just
Like she gets like that, like a lot of inspiration comes from, us and that like we're inspired by her. There's such like she just gets it and it's not performative. It's just so genuine.
who would be your dream pop girl collab? I feel like I might know, but I don't want to. I don't want to. Yeah. Who would it be?
Let's see who you're gonna say. Can you? I want to know what you're gonna say.
Well, I feel like it'd either be Jade Thirlwall or then like Little Mix, like just as a collective.
Yeah, Jade Thirlwall, my baby, my baby, my baby. I love her. When Jade, let me tell you something. I'm literally gonna get emotional. I just can't believe that. What are the odds? Okay, just like okay for a second. Imagine you're obsessed with girl groups. Period. Like just imagine. Okay. When I was working on the Next Star, a children's singing competition show, we were trying to book performers for the finale. Okay. And they go, they're Universal or whatever label they're with is pushing this girl group, Little Mix. And I was like, oh, I know Little Mix. I love them. Wings, such a great, like what a banger.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was like, whatever. Like they're from the UK. Like, well, who cares? The song's not gonna go anywhere. Like, just didn't believe in them. And I was like, no. Like they're hot. Like the internet's talking about them. Like we love, like they're fighting for, And then all of a sudden they're like, nah, we're gonna book like Austin Mahone instead. I'm like, Austin.
No.
So then cut two, they become my favorite girl group of all time. I buy the most expensive tickets to see them open for Ariana Grande. They're doing a 20-minute set, 20 minutes. But I'm like, no, I'm paying the money to go see my girls. I am dead. Dead. I love them. And cut two, I'm now a mixer. Like I'm in it. Wasabi becomes my favorite song in the whole wide world. I start performing it in the gay bars. It's the one. Everyone's staring at me, and I'm like, watching me. I'm watching you. Like that song, ding, ding, ding. It was. You know what? It was. Was it? Well, how do they say it? It was before its time. It was ahead of its time.
Ahead of its time.
That whole album. That whole album. Do you think about it?
Is that LM5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Do you think about us? I wanna know. I wanna know. Are you fucking kidding? That whole album? That's what music sounds like right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Wasabi should have been a single. Like, come the fuck on. I needed a video for that. It's to me, it's their best song.
Labels like what sounds pop. That's why. That's why. I know it. She didn't tell me that, but I know that. So then imagine when I came out with Cake, my first single, she shared it to her story. When I was on my way to the UK for the first time to perform. I don't know her like that. And then imagine this. I just take a shot in the dark, and I'm like, do you want to write together? And she says, yeah, absolutely. Like, here's my manager's number. She's like, okay, the dates are not aligning, but I've listened to all of your demos. Here are all my notes. More harmonies on this. I love this melody. This is a banger. I love, I love, I love. Da 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 da. Like Jade Thirlwall from Little Mix. Okay, so I'm getting this email like crying. Then, hey, you're in the UK to meet Priyanka Chopra, one of your other heroes. Do you want to go for dinner with Jade Thirlwall? Bye. Get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of my face. I go to this little shop in the UK. I don't have anything to wear. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to dinner with Jade. Do you know who Little Mix is? They're like, yeah, duh. I'm like, I'm going to dinner with Jade. And these like two big black straight guys dressed me to go to dinner. They were like my fairy godmothers. They like dressed me to go have dinner. It was the most beautiful experience ever. So, anyways, to answer your I just had to tell you all that because I feel like and people in the UK they get it, so I can like tell them this. So, anyways, long story short, I love her, and Jade would be one of my dream collaborations specifically.
I didn't want that story to end. You have an art for storytelling. You have an art for it. That was fucking something.
Thank you. I love her.
You took me on ups, you took me on downs.
Yeah, I gotta go back. I mean, let me say the foundation of like why this means so much to me. Because of that. I've known the girl for years.
I love that. I love that. Okay, I can't wait for the day we see Jade Thirlwall and Priyanka, or Jade Thirlwall featuring Priyanka, or the other way around, and we get it as a UK chart topper. I think it's out there. I think, yeah.
It'll happen. It will definitely happen for sure. Like, if not this album cycle, the next one, if you know, it's definitely going. It's in the universe. It's been brewing. Everyone feels it. The minute that Jesse left, they're like, okay, have you called Priyanka yet? Like, everyone's like, okay, so when does the...
We just need you to top Wasabi now.
I could.
Or even if you just sample Wasabi in the song, because it never got its moment in the...
No, exactly. I'll reclaim it.
Yeah.
We'll take someone's voice off of it and put mine in. Uh-oh.
All right, we're putting this out to the universe, manifestation, all that crap. Let's do it.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
You have slaughtered. I think that's the word I'm going to use. Slaughtered your post Drag Race career.
That's right.
Yeah, slaughtered.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah. So, what would you say? What would you say is the secret to? What is the advice you would give other contestants who are looking to emulate a career like yours?
Oh, I love this question so much. I mean, there's two things I want to say, like, because I get asked all the time, like, can we, like, I just shot Drag Race, can we get on a call? I want to, like, understand. One, the main piece of advice is if you're going to be stuck in your ways, you won't grow. I've given so much advice to people. I've literally just been like, this is what I do. This is what you got to do. It'll work. It'll work. They get in their head. They're like, well, I don't do, and there's all this insecurity, and they want to make themselves small. So my big advice piece is open your heart and open your mind to creating differently to how you're used to it. And also, you will only be as successful as you want to be. You know, we all know that you have to post every day on TikTok. We all know that you have to have a YouTube channel. We all know that you have to post every day on Instagram. We know this. It's literally fact at this point to build a brand for yourself, right? But everyone gets in their head. So it's important to like get out of your head and share your art. Just share it. It could be ugly, it could be great, it could be this, because it's the only way you're gonna grow. And also don't be afraid to send that email. So many opportunities I've gotten is because I've asked for them, like being a lip sync assassin on Drag Race, like starting a music career. I started it out of nowhere, you know, like being cast on Glamorous. Like, it's just, these are things that like you just have to not be afraid to ask for. I have so many people tell me, no, like my talent just speaks for itself. I'm like, well, it's not. It's not speaking for itself because you're not booked. So you should just go tell them that you want to do the job, and then they'll literally give you the job. I bet you. So that would be my advice. Don't be scared.
I know we'll chat before then, but I'm excited for when we do another chat in 4 years' time, another 4 years, and see where you've come from them.
I mean, there's already an empire happening, right? Like, I'm like in rehearsals all day. There's a creative director, there's an assistant manager, there's a publicist. Like, it's like the team is just like growing and growing. So I guess I'll see you at Wembley. See you at Wembley Stadium.
In 4 years, maybe let's. We'll have a chat. Like,
Yes.
it's been for you to headline the O2 tonight.
Right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be so cool?
Yeah.
Tia, you know, the UK accepts artists, right? Like Tia Coffee's charted all the time. Like the UK is like their hearts are open. In America, I'm chipping away. They're getting there.
Bianca actually did something at Wembley or the O2. Can't remember.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Iconic. So good.
Thank you.
Love, love.
Oh, how'd you do that?
What? Look. Love. Love, love, love. I want your love.
There you go. That's how much love I have for you, babe.
You're amazing. Gay times forever.